the Constitution says that we're supposed to have legal and well-maintained and well-looked-at elections, and we didn't have that. I cherish our Constitution, but we...
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. I'm sorry, I'm late to the grift. I didn't even know he was going, Trump was going one-on-one with CNN tonight.
But, I'm glad to say that, but... That was a horrible election, and
y'all get in here. Make sure I share the stream. Let people know we live. I'm going to make I'm going to create a stream over on Rumble as well.
You have an agenda. Look, we have to have honest elections in our country. We have open borders. We have. You look at what's happening. I mean, we have elections. We have open borders. Look at what's happening on our southern border. Millions and millions of people are coming here. They're being released from prisons. They're being released from mental institutions. And we have millions of people pouring into our country. And now they're getting rid of Title 42, which I put on, which kept people out that were sick. And
Mr. President, we have a lot of questions about immigration to get to tonight. Obviously, that's a big topic, especially given what's expected to happen tomorrow. But I want to talk about the influence you have over your voters. It's very clear that you are very influential over them. You have a lot of impact. I've been to many of your rallies and seen it up close, which raised a lot of questions about the influence that we saw that you had on them on January 6th and your supporters when they attacked the Capitol. Do you have any regrets about your actions on January 6th?
Well, January 6th was, again, we go back to it, but January 6th had to do with the fact that hundreds of thousands of people, and you don't see the pictures very often. A lot of the people here probably were there. January 6th, it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. That was prior to the walk down to the Capitol building.
Honestly, I'm shocked that he's doing this.
Hundreds of thousands of people. I've never spoken to
shocked that he's doing this.
And that was because they thought the election was rigged. And they were there proud. They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day. And what I was asked to do, I wasn't involved in it very much. I was asked to come in. Would I make a speech? I made a speech. I said, walk peacefully and patriotically, many different things. In fact, I brought a list of things. I don't want to bore the audience, but we can go sentence after sentence after sentence of things I said and things I put out. One of the big problems was that Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy as I affectionately call her.
Let's go.
Crazy Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington were in charge, as you know,
Facts.
of security. And they did not do their job. They're not in charge of the National Guard.
They were in charge of the National Guard.
I offered them National Guard. I said, we'll give you soldiers, we'll give you National Guard, we'll give you whatever you want. And they turned me down.
In
fact, she turned me down. She turned me down in writing. They turned me down.
But your acting defense secretary, Chris Miller, at the time, he says you never gave a formal order to deploy the National Guard. But when it came to that day,
just the opposite.
Exactly.
Chris Miller wrote a book, and he's a fantastic guy, and he was ready to go. They turned him down. If you look, the mayor of Washington, D.C., lovely lady.
Make sure you share this stream out.
We don't want to. We don't like the look. Nancy Pelosi said, we don't like the look.
Exactly.
If they would have had I offered them 10,000 soldiers. I said, it could be 10, it could be more, but I offered them specifically 10,000 soldiers. If they would have taken 500 soldiers, you wouldn't have had the problem. They turned it down. And if you look at the Inspector General report, he says they turned it down. They made a terrible mistake.
Well, Chris Miller was your acting defense secretary. He says you never gave that order. But back to what happened on that day. You said you weren't.
He did not say that.
He has testified that, Mr. President.
He did not say that.
But you said you weren't very involved that day. You did tell your supporters to come to Washington. You tweeted about it, about that speech that happened on the rally.
Am I allowed to say that?
When they went to the Capitol and they were breaking into the Capitol, smashing windows, injuring police officers, why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did.
It didn't take them. It didn't. It didn't. Let's go, Trump. Let's go, baby.
So if you look at on January 5th, the day before, I said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country.
There we go.
Stay peaceful.
Yes.
Stay peaceful. This was the day before.
Let's go.
And this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's far superior. Okay. I hope everybody's on. I hope everybody's on Truth. If you look, January 6th, this is before 2:30. I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. This is right after, as it was happening.
Facts.
But what happened is they took it down I don't know why. I think they took
How many
it down
times I had to
because
say
it was
that?
so good.
How many
They
times
didn't
I
like
told
it
people
being
that?
up there.
How many times?
I'm asking. This is, and we didn't know until I got it.
I've done so many videos on this.
90 million
One got
people
taken down by YouTube.
Truth, and I'm staying on truth. Listen, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violation. We want no violation. We want no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. That was at 2:30. That was very early.
Mr. President, I looked at the same timeline that you did.
No, I know, but you didn't report that. You know why? Because it was taken down.
We did report it. I was reporting that
day. It was taken down.
No, she didn't. It was taken down. It was taken down all over social media.
Peaceful. You saw them rushing the Capitol, breaking windows. They were hitting officers with flagpoles, tasing them, beating them up. When it was clear they weren't being peaceful, why did you wait 3 hours to tell them to leave the Capitol?
She's still pushing this. She's still pushing this.
No one else.
She's still pushing the lie.
I agree with that. But
so why
Nancy
didn't you tell
Pelosi,
them
she's still pushing the lie.
Are in charge.
Hey, make sure y'all like, sub, and
they weren't.
make sure y'all share this stream. Share this stream.
If you remember, I made a video right outside
YouTube ain't putting this out.
the Oval Office in the Rose Garden. And I'm very proud of that video. I didn't have a script. I don't need scripts like a certain person that's in there right now.
What time? The video. It came out much later after they had already attacked the Capitol.
It was a great video. And it was a beautiful video. And it said, I mean, I don't want to read it all, but you have to go home now. We have to have peace.
I played this, and YouTube gave me a strike.
We have to respect our great people of law.
I played the entire speech. I got a strike from YouTube, and I was suspended for 2 weeks.
Other people, we have to have peace. Please go home. Not said that.
Referring
you know
to
what
the
they did?
law and order there,
they took
Mr.
that
President.
down, and you know, to this day, it hasn't been put up. And the reason is,
and I put it out there
and so
when they had the so-called smoking gun at the Juneteenth committee.
Tens of millions of dollars
YouTube gave me a strike and took it down.
Or just wiped away with this one, and they've never put it back up. They had another one that they did the same.
But that video that you referenced there, it wasn't posted until 4:17 p.m.
No, I'll tell you.
They breached the Capitol at 2 p.m.
That video was
Mr.
posted.
4:17
Yeah,
p.m.
before, actually a little bit before that.
Right, so that's my question. Because in that 3 hours, over 140
it was
officers
posted after
were
the first one I just read, though, and that was at 2 o'clock.
But I think the reason the timeline is so critical here, because going back to your influence, in that 3 hours, over 140 officers were injured that day.
And a person named Ashley Babbitt was killed.
Yes.
You know what? She was killed, and she shouldn't have been killed. And that thug that killed her, there was no reason to shoot her. At blank range, cold blank range, they shot her.
And now because he said thug, they're going to try to make it racist.
There was no reason. There
was
no reason. And he went on television to brag about the fact that he killed her.
The officer was not bragging about the fact that he killed her.
He wasn't bragging, though?
The person who was at the Capitol that day, as you know, was your vice president, Mike Pence, who says that you endangered his life.
She's trying to railroad this. You know this, right?
I don't think he was in any danger.
Mr. President, do you feel that you owe him an apology?
No, because he did something wrong. He should have put the votes back to the state legislatures, and I think we would have had a different outcome. I really do.
But he doesn't have the authority to do that, as you know.
What?
The vice president does not have the authority to reject those.
Are you ready? Let's have this one out just now, because it's interesting. Let's keep it interesting, right? I like Mike Pence very much. He's a very fine man. He's a very nice man. He made a mistake. His lawyer said, you cannot move. I called him the human conveyor belt. I said, even if the votes, I talked to his lawyer, even if the votes are absolutely fraudulent, he can't say, yes, sir, he can't send back. And the Democrats played it, and the rhinos played it. And then the election was over. They told him he couldn't do it. And Mike said to me, I can't do it. The lawyers told me I can't do it. They can't do it. But the lawyers were wrong, because right after the election, they all met, the rhinos and the Democrats, and they worked out a plan to make sure that future vice presidents don't do what I said you could do.
That's not what happened. You're referring to the
Here she go. Here she go.
I've read that. There is no authority. Legal experts, including Republican legal experts, say that he does not have that authority, Mr. President. But I want to
why did they change the law then, saying that you can't do it?
They didn't change the law. They strengthened the law because they were worried about the president's
They strengthened the law. They strengthened the law. Oh my God.
Thank you.
They strengthened the law.
Mike had the right to do it. They
didn't change it. They strengthened it.
Horrible thing.
You see how they do with the words?
If you would have sent those votes back to Georgia, Pennsylvania, and other states, Wisconsin, which if you look at Wisconsin, they virtually admitted now that the election was rigged. If you would have sent those votes back to many of those states, they would not come back in the affirmative. And remember what I said, and you just said it pretty much. You admitted what I said was right. They said he didn't have the right to do it, and he did have the right to do it, and that's why they changed the law, taking that right away.
I should note that your campaign paid for a recount that happened in Wisconsin. It actually had more votes for President Biden by the end of it. But I want to move on to Wayne Byer.
No, you can't move on after that.
From North Conway.
So many illegal votes were cast in Wisconsin. And if you look in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they had so many illegal votes, they didn't even know what to do with them. You're absolutely wrong
Mr. President,
about that.
there weren't any fraudulent votes in Wisconsin. I do want to ask the audience, so we have questions for you from the audience. Wayne Byer is a retired attorney from North Conway. He has previously served in Republican administration.
Here go they plants. Here go they plants.
22 midterms. He voted for you in 2020. What's your question for the president, Wayne?
Thank you for coming, Mr. President.
Thank you, Wayne.
My question to you is:
we live on Rumble as well. We live on Rumble as well.
Rioters who were convicted of federal offenses.
I am
link to Rumble's in the description, just in case YouTube kills this stream.
I can't say for every single one, because a couple of them probably they got out of control. But you know, when you look at Antifa, what they've done to Portland, and if you look at Antifa, look at what they've done to Minneapolis and so many other places. Look at what they did to Seattle and BLM. Many people were killed. These people, I'm not trying to justify anything, but you have two standards of justice in this country, and what they've done, and I love that question, because what they've done to so many people is nothing. And then what they've done to these people, they've persecuted these people. And yeah, my answer is, I am most likely, if I get in, I will most likely, I would say it will be a large portion of them. You know, they did a very... And it'll be very early on. And they're living in hell right now.
So when it comes to
pardons, they're living in hell. And they're policemen, and they're firemen, and they're soldiers, and they're carpenters and electricians, and they're great people. Many of them are just great people.
Mr. President, one of the people who was convicted was a former policeman, but he was convicted of attacking a police officer, I should note. But when you said you are considering
Trump going to bring up Ray
a large portion of those charged with crimes on January 6th, does that include the 4 Proud Boys members who were charged and convicted of seditious conspiracy?
Here she go.
I have to look at their case, but I will say, in Washington, D.C., you cannot get a fair trial. You cannot. Just like in New York City, you can't get a fair trial either.
Here we go.
Speaking of New York, I want to ask you about a significant verdict that was reached yesterday. I know this is something you want to weigh in on as well. A Manhattan jury found that you sexually abused the writer E. Jean Carroll and defamed her. You've denied this, but what do you say to voters who say it disqualifies you from being president?
Well, there aren't too many of them, because my poll numbers just came out and they went up. I think I'm the only person in history who had a charge like that. And usually you leave office, you say, I'm sorry, but I'm going back home. I'm back home to my family and everything. I'm going to be resigned. My poll numbers went up, and they went up with the other fake charge, too. What's happening is they're doing this for election interference. This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her and her husband.
Yeah, I just changed the title. YouTube changed it to some shit I did like a couple of months ago.
African American.
But it's back.
The judge wouldn't allow us.
Probably should have kept it that, right? And y'all could have just used the thumbnail.
Her cat was named Vagina. The judge wouldn't allow to put that in.
What?
All of these things. With her, they can put in anything. Access
this
Hollywood.
This was a jury of 9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse.
Shit.
Do you think that...
Hey, y'all, if you're listening, share this stream, let people know we live. Share this stream, let people know we live.
Just so you understand. Ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities. I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old, and this is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me.
Get it, Trump. Tell him what's what. Tell him what's what.
Great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store.
Get it.
We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there were locks on the door. So she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know
smut.
if she was married then or not. John Johnson.
Smut.
I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President, can I add to this?
Think of it.
I know you're recounting what she said, but Mr. President.
But let me just, if I could, because you asked the question.
This was a
just so you
jury,
understand,
though.
if I was walking in at the park, because I was very famous then, and I owned the Plaza Hotel.
Yo, they fucked up.
Buildings around.
They fucked up.
I'm not going into
CNN.
dressing room.
CNN fucked up.
Apartment. So then I say, if she was being raped, and by the way, they said
I don't know what they was thinking.
Okay, that was her.
CNN fucked up.
They found that you sexually abused her.
What? Say what? They did. They said he didn't rape her, and I didn't do anything else either. You know what? Because I have no idea who the hell she is.
But Mr. President,
I don't know who this woman
can I
is.
ask you, given your recounting your version?
I don't know who, and I tell you this.
But Mr. President,
are you ready?
can I
swear
ask
on
you
my
because-
children, which I'd never do. I have no idea who this woman. This is a fake story, made up story. We had a horrible Clinton-appointed judge.
Make sure y'all share this across Twitter,
He allowed her to put
Truth Social,
everything in.
Facebook,
He allowed us to put
MySpace,
Mr.
Black
President,
Planet.
You're recounting your version of events here right now to the audience.
Get it out there, man.
You referenced the trial. You did not go to the trial and actually
That's right.
testify. Do you wish that you had testified?
It wasn't worth his time.
This was a rigged deal. This was my lawyer said, sir, you don't have to do it. I actually said, I think I should. It would be respectful. They said, sir, don't do it. This is a fake story, and you don't want to give it credibility. That's why I didn't go.
One thing you did do in this.
And I swear, and I've never done that, and I swear to I have no idea who the hell. She's a
Mr.
whack
President,
job.
you did not testify in person in this trial. There was a taped deposition of you from October in it. You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about being able to grab women how you want. Do you stand by those comments?
I said if you're famous and rich or whatever I said, but I said if you're a star.
Let's go.
You are, and I said, women let you. I didn't say you grab. I said women let. You know, you didn't use that word. But if you look, women let you. Now, they said, will you take that back? I said,
like my man Rob said, they must have forgot about groupies.
Years, this is the way it's been. I want to be honest. This is the way it's been.
They must have forgot about them groupies.
Back if you'd like to.
You think she ain't know who Trump was when he came through that door?
If you're a star, and I'm not referring to myself, I'm saying people that are famous, people that are stars.
Sound like she was trying to be a star fucker.
People that are powerful, they tend to do pretty well in a lot of different ways, okay? And you would like me to take that back? I can't take it back because it happens to be true. I said it's been true for 1 million years.
You don't believe him? Go look at that Freaknik video. Go look at the Freaknik documentary.
Well, I don't want to lie.
Mr. President,
here's what she wants me to say.
Let's get
a
to
rich
the
and
audience
famous
questions
person
tonight.
has no advantage over anyone else. Well, you do have an advantage, and I say unfortunately, but that's the way.
Make sure y'all like the stream. Make sure y'all share the stream.
Unfortunately or
we have a lot of
unfortunately for
audience
her.
questions to get to tonight. I want to go back to the audience. We've got Danielle Rieger.
Will you share
works
this
as an
stream?
oral surgery assistant.
The higher this gets on the algorithm.
From Derry. She was a New Hampshire delegate for you in 2020. What's your question?
Hi, thank you so much for coming to New Hampshire to answer our questions. My question is regarding the economy. Over the past 2 years, we have seen the prices for everything skyrocket. From food to gas to utilities and insurance costs, many people's bills are up several $100s a month, including mine. If elected president again, what is the first thing you would do to help bring down the cost to make things more affordable?
Drill, baby, drill. You know that. So, we were energy independent. We were soon going to be energy dominant. And nobody had ever done what I did. We got oil down to $1.87.
What the hell just happened? Did he just stop it? Yo, did CNN kill their own stream? Hold up. What the hell? Did CNN kill their own stream? What the heck? Did they just kill their own stream, yo? Let's find out. Let's find out. Oh my gosh, I didn't touch nothing. What the hell just happened? All right, we back.
Bills went through the roof. Your heating bills went through the roof. And that's what started inflation. And it hasn't stopped because people are paying now for bacon and for eggs and for the 2 and 3 times what it was just a little while ago. We created the greatest economy in history. A big part of that economy was got you the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, bigger than the Reagan cuts, bigger than any.
Trump out here spitting them bars, Emmanuel.
Caitlin,
he's spitting them bars.
We got the biggest regulation and regulatory cuts. This place was rocking.
Bro,
and then we were given
this on CNN website.
And China paid a big price. And let me tell you something. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes from China. But prior to COVID coming in, and then I rebuilt the economy again, taxes. But we had prior to COVID coming in as from China, from Wuhan, which
I'm shocked I ain't got no audience over here on Rumble right now.
Wrong about that. You're wrong.
Maybe a million people on other streams right now.
So we had the greatest economy in the world. Here's the story. They made energy so high, and energy is all invasive. It is massive as an industry and as a cost. It lifted everything. If you made donuts, no matter what you did, and we had inflation, the likes of which I guess we haven't had, they said, for 52 years, but I think more than that. We had no inflation. We had the lowest energy prices we've had in decades. This country was rocking and rolling. And by the way, we had the most secure border in the history of our country.
Mr. President, we have more questions on the economy. I want to make sure we get to all of those. As you know, the U.S. right now could be just 3 weeks away from defaulting on its debt. That could mean millions of jobs lost, people not getting their Social Security payments. People believe it would put the U.S. economy into a recession. On that topic, I want to bring in Marta Cervella, a student here at St. Anselm. She is an undeclared voter who did not vote in 2020. Marta, what's your question?
Another plant.
Hi, Mr. President.
Hi, thank you.
So my question is, what do you think about the United States' current debt situation, and how can we move forward?
Such an important question. So we're at $33 trillion, a number that nobody ever thought possible. When we had our economy rocking and rolling just prior to COVID coming in, like literally, we were making a fortune. And oil, we were going to make so much money from oil, we were going to start paying off debt. But then with COVID coming in, we had to do other things. We had to keep this country alive because it was so serious. But we have to get the country back. We have to lower energy prices. We have to lower interest rates. Interest rates are through the roof. Energy has to come down. It all has to come down, and we have to start paying off debt. But when we have a debt limit, and
that's
they use that very seriously. Me, they came in. Schumer
they
came
teach you
in,
that shit in ninth grade,
Pelosi, and they were using it. We'll violate it. We'll do whatever. They talked a whole lot different than they do right now. I say to the Republicans out there, congressmen, senators, if they don't give you massive cuts, you're going to have to do a default. And I don't believe they're going to do a default because I think the Democrats will absolutely cave because you don't want to have that happen. But it's better than what we're doing right now, because we're spending money like drunken sailors.
So just to be clear, Mr. President, you think the U.S. should default if the White House does not agree to the spending cuts Republicans are demanding?
You might as well do it now because you'll do it later, because we have to save this country. Our country is dying. Our country is being destroyed by stupid people, by very stupid people.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
The U.S. defaulting would be massively consequential for everyone in this room, for all Americans.
You don't know. It's psychological. It's really psychological more than anything else. And it could be very bad. It could be maybe nothing. Maybe you have a bad week or a bad day. But look, you have to cut your costs. We're spending $7 trillion on, much of it on nonsense. $7 trillion on nonsense.
We've got another question from a voter tonight.
Get all of that money that was wasted, and frankly, the Senate should have never approved it. Get all that money that was wasted, and if they don't get rid of that, you'll have to default. Okay?
Mr. President, we've got another voter here tonight.
And by the way, you're going to default eventually anyway, but it's going to be much messier.
Facts.
I don't think you'll have to default. I think if the Republicans hold strong and they say we want 5 let's say we want $5 trillion off. I really think the Democrats have no choice but to do it. And if I win, they're going to be doing the same thing to me in 2 years. I guarantee you that. They're going to play a very hardball game, and they did that before.
Bobby Petrino has been waiting very patiently.
Sure.
He's a student at St. Anselm. He's a member of College Republicans. He's an undeclared voter right now.
I shared the stream out.
2020. Bobby, what's your question for President Trump?
Hi, thank you for coming. This is a bit of a pivot, but with gun violence and mass shootings in the news cycle recently, I'm worried that state governments and the federal government are going to act to repress gun rights. Under your administration, you instructed the Department of Justice and the ATF to ban bump stocks. If elected president again, how would you act not only to defend our Second Amendment rights, but to restore rights that have been taken from us, such as, by example, recently the ATF's ruling on the pistol stabilizing braces?
Yeah, as you know, the bump stocks are actually a very unimportant thing. And NRA, I went with them, and they said it doesn't mean anything. Or actually, all they do is teach you how to shoot very inaccurately. So we did that. There's been nobody that's protected.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you, Donnie T. With the
protected it
not with
thick and thin, not easy to do. But we have a very
bump stock accuracy, but the fact that you
problem in this country.
You let them create that slippery
slope. It's not the gun that pulls the trigger; it's the person that pulls the trigger. And we have to protect our Second Amendment. We have to protect our Second Amendment.
Mr. President, you dealt with a lot of mass shootings when you were in office. This year, there have already been more than 200 mass shootings in 2023. If you are reelected, are there any new gun restrictions that you would sign into law?
I would do numerous things. For instance, schools, we would harden, very much harden. And I'm a very believer. I believe in teachers. I love teachers. I think they're incredible. And they love the children, not quite like the parents, but they love the children in many cases almost as much. Many of these teachers are soldiers, ex-soldiers, ex-policemen. They're people that really understand weapons, and you don't need 5% of the teachers would be more than you could ever have if you're going to hire security guards. But in addition to that, have security guards, you have to harden your entrances. You have to make schools safe, and you can make other places safe. But it is a big mental health problem in this country more than anything else. And remember, we have 700 million guns. 700 million. Many people, if they don't have a gun, they're not going to be very safe. I mean, if they don't have a gun, it gives them security. Now, you need them for entertainment, you need them for hunting, you need them for a lot of different things. But there are people that if they didn't have the privilege of having a gun in some form, many of them would not be alive today. You know, there is a certain country that had a very strict
Hotep in the building.
on guns, very, very strict.
Which country?
And, Brazil. Okay, Brazil, very strict. And the former president of Brazil, and the killing was incredible. They were walking into people's homes and killing people. They had no protection. He said, "Go out and buy guns." People went out and bought guns, and it went way down. The numbers went way down because they had security. If you look at Chicago, Chicago has the single toughest gun policies in the nation. They are so tough you can't breathe. New York too, and other places also.
Facts.
All of those places are the worst and most dangerous places. So that's not the answer.
No new restrictions that you would sign if reelected, Mr. President. I want you to meet Julie Miles, a registered nurse from Merrimack. She's a Republican who.
They're doing a bad job of steamrolling Trump,
Julie,
ain't they?
what's your question for the president?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I appreciate you answering this question this evening. How do you plan to appeal to women voters in New Hampshire who are concerned about the Dobbs decision and how states may change their laws?
It's such a great question, and it was such a great victory, and people are starting to understand it now. You know that they wanted to bring it back to the states, but that was probably the least important part of that victory. Getting rid of Roe v. Wade was an incredible thing for pro-life because it gave pro-life something to negotiate with. Pro-life had absolutely nothing being stuck in Roe v. Wade to negotiate with. And now what's happening, and I see it all over, deals are being made, deals are going to be made. And look, everybody that was president wanted to get rid and tried to get rid of Roe v. Wade.
You mean
for 50
Republicans?
years. Republicans. For 50 years, this has been going on. Actually, a couple of Democrats, too. But for 50 years, this has been going on. I was able to do it, and I was very honored to do it. But by doing
even Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't fully agree with Roe v. Wade.
I happen to believe in the exceptions, the life of the mother, rape, incest, like Ronald Reagan believed in the exceptions, but I happen to believe that. I think it's frankly important to do that, but a lot of people are, against that. A relatively small number. But the way I look, I think it's very important to say this. I can
see how she keep cutting them off
because the other
in her ear, like, go to the next question. Go to the next question.
The other side, they're radical because they will. Remember the debate with Hillary Clinton? I said, rip the baby out of the womb at the end of the 9th month. They will kill the baby in the 9th month. If you look at that crazy governor of Virginia from the former governor, where he said, no, the baby will be born, and then we'll decide essentially whether or not to execute the baby.
But, Mr. President, can we talk about what you would do if
these are the radical people. It's not the pro-life people that are radical.
But if you are reelected and you're back in the Oval Office and you get legislation to your desk, would you sign a federal abortion ban into law?
What I'll do is negotiate so that people are happy. But the fact that I was able, I'm so proud of it. We put 3 great justices on the Supreme Court. We have almost 300 federal judges on the Supreme Court.
So just to be clear, Mr. President, you would sign a federal abortion ban into law.
I said this. I want to do what's right, and we're looking, and we want to do what's right for everybody.
But what's right?
But now, for the first time, the people that are pro-life have negotiating capability.
Facts.
Because you didn't have it before.
Facts.
They could kill the baby in the 9th month or after the baby was born. Now they won't be able to do that.
But I think this is a really important question for you to answer, because this is something every Republican, including those who are running against you for the nomination, are being asked about, is would you sign a federal abortion ban into law?
And many of them are going to give you the same answer as I am. First of all, I am honored to have done what I did. And a lot of people said in 150 years, he's now the most consequential president because he saved so many lives. And I'm honored to have done it.
Let's go. Let's go.
And because of what I've done, we now have a great negotiating ability. That's what I do in life. I negotiate. We have a great negotiating ability, and I think we're going to be able to get something done.
But what do you mean negotiating ability? Because the question that Republicans have, and some of your allies on Capitol Hill say that they want to introduce legislation when it comes to banning abortion. If they send it to your desk, would you sign it?
That's facts,
Some
Rose.
people are at 6 weeks. Some people are at 3 weeks,
where's
2
President
weeks.
Trump?
President Trump is going to make a determination what he thinks is great for the country and what's fair for the country. But the fact that I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade after 50 years of trying, they worked for 50 years. I've never seen anything like it. They worked.
And people in her ears on red alert, bro. I promise you.
We are in a very good
next question. Go to the next question. Hurry up.
Right now, only because of what I was able to do. And remember this, again, you talk about radicalism. People that will kill a baby in the 9th month or the 8th month or the 7th month or after the baby is born, they're the radicals, not the pro-life.
I just want to give you one more chance, though, because you did not answer whether or not you'd sign a federal abortion ban or how many weeks into pregnancy you believe abortion should be banned.
Yeah, but I've given you the answer probably 4 times already.
Which one is it?
I'm looking at a solution that's going to work. Very complex issue for the country. You have people on both sides of an issue.
Not a black and white issue.
We are now in a very strong position. Pro-life people are in a strong position to make a deal that's going to be good and going to be satisfactory for them. If you weren't able to get rid of, you wouldn't even be having a discussion if you weren't able to get rid of Roe v. Wade, which put pro-life in a dead position, a horrible position. They could kill the baby at any time they wanted to, but we did something that nobody thought was doable. And other Republican presidents, and others, by the way, they wanted to get it out. They also wanted to bring it back to the states, but bringing it back to the states is a less important issue
but that's why
than the issue that we just talked about.
Federal abortion ban. You did not say yes or no to that. You
There she go. She trying to box him in. She can't.
Lindsey Graham's
you did not say how many
man.
weeks.
He's got an idea, and a lot of other people have an idea. And I look at all the different ideas,
and a lot of people will be curious what your idea is on
decision.
that. President Trump, we've got more questions to come for you tonight. We'll be right back in just a moment.
They about to bring out the goon squad now. Watch. They let his supporters and possible supporters talk. Now they about to bring their goon squad out, I think. I'm pretty sure they about to bring that goon squad out.
Living with plaque psoriasis?
They about to bring that goon squad out, people. That's what's about to happen. They about to bring that goon squad out. These next questions gonna be all loaded questions. Watch. He whooping her ass. They had to go to a commercial break. They had to go to a commercial break because he whooping her ass. They in her ear like, next question. Cut Cut him off. What's up, DJ? What's going on? You late to the grift? Man, I was kind of late to the grift. I ain't even know this town hall was happening. I've been so out the loop today. I've been so busy at work, man. I literally was upstairs watching Batman, Michael Keaton, with my son, and I got a message across my phone saying Trump CNN town hall. I said, wait, what? That don't even make sense. Trump CNN town hall. I had to text HJ like, hey yo, Trump got a town hall on CNN. He was like, yep. I was like, to the Griff Cave. I jumped down here. I was making up everything on the spot. I just turned the shit on and went live with it, man. But Trump is scorching earth on CNN right now. She don't know what to do. I think what's about to happen, though. Is that they're gonna bring out they loaded questions. I think they're gonna bring their loaded questions out. Is what's about to happen. And I can't wait to see Trump just fucking bob and weave, throw them jabs, keep throwing them straight jabs. Trump throwing straight jabs right now. He throwing straight jabs. He's slipping them and he throwing them jabs right now. But yeah, what's up, Damian Rutland in the building? He says, yeah, Trump in his bag right now. What up, Sonny? Sonny said to the Griff Cave. Yeah, man, to the Griff Cave, bro. I need that sound bite. I think I forgot who cut it. That's an HJ. That's an HJ 101 right there. We got CBD 88 and BCD 88 in the building. What's the deal? Said Hotep and Bill. Appreciate you stopping through. Man, it's about to get real, bro. It's about to get real. Right now, they regrouping right now. They regrouping right now. They gotta bring out some bigger guns. I wouldn't be shocked if they switched her ass out. Man, how y'all think? You know what? Let's do a poll. I wish I could do polls over on Rumble, but I can't. Let me see where we at. Rumble numbers is picking up. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do a poll. Where we at? Oh, I need to, what's the name? Where that shit at? Boom. Let's bring this over here. Let's say, is Trump holding his own against CNN? All right, they back. Oh, God damn it, where's it at?
Good evening, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Title 42 is expected to expire tomorrow. Our southern border and now our northern border are experiencing record migration. We learned on May 2nd that the Biden administration plans on deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Do you agree with deploying troops to the border, and how will a Trump administration slow down the rate of migrants coming across all our borders?
Sure. A very fair question, especially
if you do, make sure you like, make sure you share the stream.
Infamy. You're going to have tens of thousands of people pouring into our country. Even the judge, the judge overruled them when they wanted to terminate it early, and he said, that you better extend this thing. The judge in Texas said, I hope you're going to extend this, but this is my policy that they're letting terminate because they lost in court. They wanted to go earlier. You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen. How they're not going to do a version of Title 42 or my Title 42, which was tough. If people are sick and have infectious diseases and lots of other problems, we don't want them being into our country. We have enough problems right now. We have problems like...
Remember who wanted to let 11 million undocumented... What the... Yo, see, I'm not doing this, yo. This ain't me. They doing this shit. They kicking people off the stream.
That's true, but when it comes to big questions about what your immigration policy would look like if you are reelected, some of your Republican rivals
remember who wanted to let 11 million people into the country undocumented
on the campaign trail, like finishing the border wall. So how did voters know that you would get those done if you're reelected?
I did finish the wall. I built a wall. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I finished it. And then I said, we have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam. There are some areas where a lot of people are coming. You close up one and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we had a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm streaming an impromptu stream. Trump live on CNN.
They took over and they decided not to finish it. It would have taken them 3 weeks. I built hundreds of miles of wall. If we didn't have it, it would be hard to believe it could be any worse. They're just letting people flow into our country. Look.
My bad, guys. Had to take that call.
The country has to have borders. There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr. President. It wasn't the complete wall. One other thing that with
no, but I have to respond to that.
With your immigration, it was only about 52 miles of new wall.
This is what she does. I built hundreds of miles. Some of the wall was up there.
Let's go.
And it would be laying on the ground, rusted, rotten steel, rusted, rotten wood, a little. And what the radical left, crazy Democrats did, if there's a piece of wood laying down, they consider that a wall. I built 30-foot walls that go down 7 feet into the ground. If there was a little piece of wood sitting in the ground, they said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall. Because this is the game. They're a party of disinformation.
It's not a game, Mr. President. It's about 52 miles of new wall.
Here she goes.
Here she goes. I built new wall.
Here she goes.
I built new wall.
52 miles
for hundreds of miles.
CBP, Mr.
What I did is I replaced other wall that was laying down, that was up and rotting in the ground for 30 years. Some of it was steel.
He had chicken wire as a wall.
52 miles of new wall. But moving on, another immigration policy you had was the zero tolerance immigration policy that separated families at the border. If you are reelected, are you ruling out instituting that?
Well, when you have that policy, people don't come. If a family hears that they're going to be separated, they love their family. They don't come.
Facts.
So I know it sounds harsh. But if you remember they said I was building prisons for children. It turned out that it was Obama that was building the prisons for the children. But would you
re-implement that if you're reelected? Is that what you're saying?
We have to save
our country,
de fuego.
Right?
So it sounds like that's a yes.
No. When you say to a family that if you come, we're going to break you up, they don't come. And we can't afford to have any more. Look at New York City. Look what's happening. They're living in Central Park in New York City. The city is being swamped. Los Angeles is being swamped. Iowa is being swamped. Our whole country is being destroyed. Millions of people are coming into our country. And you know what the number is going to be, in my opinion, by the end of the year? Not the 4 million that you hear and the 3 million. I think it's going to be 15 million people. And in these people, they have no idea where they come from. They come from 129 different countries so far. 120, not just the 4 that we talked about.
Just to put a button on that, it sounds like what you're saying is that you're not ruling out re-implementing that immigration policy. I want to get to another voter, Caitlin Boissonneau, a student here at
she a piece of
She's
shit.
a Republican. This will be the first election that she has voted in. What's your question for the president, Caitlin?
Hello, President Trump. Hi. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
The current administration has made it clear that we should continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision, and how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice.
I'm shocked you bring out the loaded question, Jeff.
It's so important because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We don't
remember the last time
for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the thing. I have to say it to start off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit that. Putin knew it would have never happened. and his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened.
Facts.
But this would never have happened. And all those dead people.
Let him answer the girl question.
Ukrainian, they wouldn't be dead today. And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay. Now, here's the problem. We've given so far 170.
What up, Trish? We got Trish in the building. He definitely is.
They've given, meaning European Union, which is approximately the same size altogether as our economy. They've given
cheered.
about 20.
They cheered.
So we're at
I think CNN realized they fucked up.
And they're at 20. You don't have to know too much about history to realize what geography, to realize
the one time I watched CNN on purpose.
They're a little bit more affected than we are, okay? So they've got to put up a lot more money.
Bison American Club says I want to be the first brown person in Iowa.
That's why I ended NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA in Mexico.
But on this issue, Mr. President,
here she go.
I should know. I don't know any Democrats who have said they don't believe Putin would have been invaded if you were president. But her question
she don't know
is,
any Democrats.
Will you continue
period.
to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected?
The streets said that.
I have a very good relationship with
the streets said
President Zelensky, because, as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax number one, when he said the president didn't do anything wrong. So I happen to like. Yeah, that's right. And I was totally exonerated.
Here she go.
Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached over that.
But he was impeached, but he was found not guilty. Stupid.
Would you give Ukraine weapons?
I was impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you give Ukraine weapons and funding if you were?
I would sit down. Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
How would you settle that?
Trump talking big shit.
Because I'll meet with Putin, I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely over.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
No NATO.
I don't think in terms of winning and losing.
No NATO.
I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country. Now,
Trump in his bag, bro.
Can I just follow up on that? You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing.
No, she know what an impeachment is. She know that the laymen don't know what an impeachment is.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
Go ahead, Trump. Yo, this shit is backfiring on CNN, boy.
In 24 hours.
All that anchor's going to be trying to tell you what you think you heard soon. Watch.
But you won't say that you want Ukraine to win. You
know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because for 20 billion, we're in for 170, and they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO, when I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying under Obama and Bush and all of these other presidents. That's why they're able to help them fight the war, because of the money I got. But I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine?
Here she go. She thinks she about to stick them.
They're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of jerks. We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so.
When it comes to what's happening there, when you were in office, you said that you respected President Putin. Do you still respect him today?
Here she goes.
He made a tremendous mistake.
Here she goes.
He's a smart guy, you know. I remember I said he was smart, she was smart. He said President Xi of China, right, is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. I said, yeah, he's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person.
I'm telling you, the anchors is going to be on red alert, Trish.
And Putin made a bad mistake.
They're going to be telling you what you thought you heard.
His mistake was
this what you really heard.
He would have never gone.
This was a dog whistle.
We used to talk about it too.
Do you believe that he is a war criminal?
What?
Do you believe that
if you're new, make sure you share this stream, let people know we live. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button.
I think it's something that should not be discussed now. It should be discussed later, because right now we have to get a war. If you say he's a war criminal, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a deal to get this.
I'm sure Joy Reid going to start crying or some shit.
He's going to be a war criminal where people are going to go and grab him and execute him. He's going to fight a lot harder than he's fighting, you know, under the other circumstance. That's something to be discussed at a later date.
Right
now, we want to get that war settled. And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are the number of people being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no, hundreds and thousands of people are being killed.
Get him, Trump.
And we have to get that war settled.
Get him.
We have more with former President Trump. Right after this, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with questions from voters right after that.
She got to go to the corner. She like, you got to cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick. You got to cut me, Mick. They ready to throw in the damn towel. Throw in the damn towel. I need that. I need that. I need to throw in the damn towel on my soundboard. She over there. She all lumped the fuck up. CNN all lumped the fuck up. You got to cut me, Mick. You got to cut me. I can't see. Oh, my gosh. They getting their asses whooped. My man Fuego with the $5 Rumble Rant. I appreciate you. This is for getting CNN on in my house. Good Lord. Hey. The grift is undefeated. The grift is undefeated, guys. Oh my gosh, bro. She getting her ass whooped. CNN, this ain't going the way they wanted that shit to go. They thought that they about to railroad Trump. I think somebody in there really think he dumb. I think somebody in there really think your boy dumb. Boy, were they wrong. Boy, were they wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh my gosh. They gotta go to commercial break. They gotta regroup. Hey, I like that. CNN equals Canon Hotep News Network. I hear that. I appreciate you. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna take the time out to shill real quick. If you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Please share this stream. Let people know we live. If you're catching that replay, let me know how I'm doing. I could use some constructive criticism. This was an impromptu stream, so I had to run down here, set shit up, get thumbnails on the fly, all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Because we had to bring this to you live. Because it's not every day Trump go behind enemy lines to tell it how it is. To tell it how it is. He playing 4D chess right now, boy. He playing 4D chess. Damian Rutland says, watch, they say Trump bullied her. Oh, you know it's coming, Damian. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. J.R. Bell says, Canon Hotep News Network, I would tune in for sure. I hear that. I appreciate you. Yeah, Trump on his game tonight, boy. Trump said, fuck it, I'm gonna pop a little blue pill just while I'm at it. They tried to catch him on, they tried to get him on the E. Jean Carroll shit. They tried to stick it to him with abortion. They tried to stick him with the Ukraine situation. They tried to get him on the border, questioning about his wall. And Trump just like, Yo, Trump just giving him 3-piece combos, y'all. He giving him 3-piece combo with the biscuit. He's slipping them punches. Trump giving him the rope-a-dope. Bro, yeah, Trump took that Master Focus, boy. Could you imagine if Trump endorsed Master Focus? God damn. If Trump endorsed Master Focus, HJ be on the island somewhere. Trump came with that Nas Ether diss track tonight. I hear that. That's exactly what he did. He definitely came with that Ether diss track, bruh. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Retro Neon. But I'm telling you, he up there giving them the work. He giving them that work. They all lumped the hell up. Eyes swollen shut, lips all swollen. He look like Martin after he fought Tommy Hearns right now. Oh my gosh, they gotta save it. They're gonna be in damage control soon, man. They're gonna be in damage control real soon. They coming back. When they coming back? They coming back now? Yeah, we back now.
Welcome back to CNN's Republican Presidential Town Hall with former President Trump. President Trump, we have a lot more voters' questions, I should note, in here in New Hampshire to get to, but I also want to talk about some of the other investigations that you're facing. We talked about others at the top, but one of those is the special counsel's investigation into classified documents that were found at Mar-a-Lago. Why did you take those documents with you when you left the White House?
I had every right to under the Presidential Records Act. You have the Presidential Records Act. I was there and I took what I took, and it gets declassified. Biden, on the other hand, he has 1,850 50 boxes. He had boxes sent to Chinatown, where they don't speak even English in that Chinatown we're talking about.
I got to stop you right there.
No, don't stop him. Don't stop him.
Just so you understand, I had every right to do it. I didn't make a secret of it. You know, the boxes were
fight back, CNN, fight back.
We're taking pictures of the GSA of the various people.
I got to stop you right there.
Put your hands up, God damn.
Act, which is not well known to a lot of people. I read it. It does not say that you can take documents with you. It says actually that they are the property of the federal government.
You negotiate, you make a deal. It's not criminal, by the way. The Presidential Records Act is not criminal.
Not to mention, Obama did it, Bush Jr. did it, Clinton did it, Bush Sr. did it.
Just so you understand,
Reagan.
The Presidential Records Act is not criminal. I took the documents. I'm allowed to. You know who else took them? Obama took them. Nixon took them.
Obama
Reagan took them. Oh, he did.
The difference here that I'd like to note.
Reagan
National
took
Archive
them.
Says that President Obama
even Jimmy
did not
Carter,
take
even Mike
documents.
Pence had some documents, and he's a very honorable guy.
You referenced
but you know who took them more than anybody? Is
Put your hands up, girl. Guard your grill.
And nobody even knows where they are. 1,800, and nobody talks about him.
This might be domestic abuse right at this point.
Put a rough guy on us, and in the meantime, they have nobody. I think it's important, Mr.
President, to actually set the record straight here. They took documents, including Vice President Pence. When they realized they had documents, they turned them back over. The difference
you can tell she's getting it out of her ear because she's leaning to the side, her earpiece.
It was a year-and-a-half effort that incled a subpoena with those documents. One question about what happened
on my house. That's what it included.
Yeah.
You'd gotten a subpoena and they had not been turned over yet.
They didn't raid Biden's house. You know what happened? They put him in the house. That's the one with the Corvette where the documents were laying all over the floor. That was fine. And you know who happens to be at Mar-a-Lago? Secret Service, and they're phenomenal. I have Secret Service. He didn't have Secret Service. The other thing, the vice president cannot declassify. He didn't have the right to declassify.
That's facts.
He has documents from when he was a senator.
Ooh.
And even Democrat senators say, I can't believe it.
Ooh.
No, I went by the Presidential Records Act.
That's not
and we
what the
were negotiating with NARA.
That's not what it says.
And NARA has red flagged a thing called the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights because they consider them
Mr.
dangerous
President, that's not what it says, and I should note that there is a special counsel investigating your document situation, also President Biden's document situation. When it comes to your documents, did you ever show those classified documents to anyone?
Not really. I would have the right to. By the way, they were declassified.
Tell her.
Not that I can think of. Let me just tell you, I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them. I have the right.
Daniel, sorry.
I was negotiating with NARA. Do you know what NARA is?
The National Archives.
Extremely left group of people. Extremely left. And I was.
She can't take it. She getting pissed.
They raided my house. They didn't raid the house of Joe Biden. They didn't raid Obama.
But Joe Biden didn't ignore a subpoena to get those.
Bullshit. He wasn't supposed to have in the first place.
150 boxes.
But that's the question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple.
There she goes. She getting pissed.
Nasty person.
She's definitely a diesel, ain't she?
That motherfucker's definitely a diesel.
We were talking to NARA, that's Washington, to bring whatever they want. They can have whatever they want. When we left Washington, we had the boxes lined up on the sidewalk outside for everybody. People are taking pictures of them. Everybody knew we were taking those boxes. And the GSA, the government service, the GSA was the one taking them. They brought them down to Mar-a-Lago. We were negotiating with NARA. All of a sudden, they raid our house. When Biden had his documents, he won't give back the 1,850 boxes.
Get them.
And you're going to find some real gems in there.
But it was Biden who alerted them that he had the documents. The National Archives reached out to you to get your documents back. Why did you not turn them over when you got a subpoena asking for you to turn them over?
We were negotiating with them as per.
She don't want the answer. It's not the answer she wants.
Records Act. We were negotiating with NARA.
That's not what the Presidential Records Act says.
But they got to love our Constitution a little bit more and they shouldn't red flag it, by the way. Very nice people. We were negotiating with NARA. And that's what the Presidential Records Act says, because Richard Nixon, surprisingly, had problems.
That's facts.
And he had a lot of problems dealing with NARA.
That's facts.
And they ended up passing legislation called the Presidential Records Act, just for this kind of a thing. We were dealing with them. We were talking.
Here she go. Here she go.
We were talking to them. we would have done it. But all of a sudden, they raided the house. Now, why hasn't the FBI raided Biden?
But I just explained to you why.
No.
It's because he's the one. They alerted the government that they had those documents and had them come and get the documents from his house.
No, she knows she getting her ass whooped.
Do you still have any classified documents in your possession?
Are you ready?
That's facts.
No, I don't have anything. I have no classified documents. And by the way, they become automatically declassified when I took them. But
no,
why?
You have to declassify
Let me ask you a question.
That's facts protocol.
Why is it that Biden had 9 boxes in Chinatown?
That's facts.
And he gets a lot of money from China.
Chinatown.
And why aren't people?
Here she go.
Why aren't people bringing that?
Her CIA is showing.
Put this like Jack Smith that is
her alphabet is showing.
Why don't they put him in charge of that?
I need to stop you right there.
Her Mockingbird is showing.
Of what you just said there. What you're referring to there is an office that he had after leaving
the
vice presidency. He had a temporary office. But I want to ask you about another investigation that you're facing.
You don't know the subject.
I do know the subject.
He had one at University of Pennsylvania, but he also had 9 boxes.
Here she go again.
That you're facing, which is the one that's happening in Georgia, where they are investigating there.
Yo, why they keep cutting the stream? Why they keep cutting the stream?
Phone call.
Let me finish my question. At the center of that is that call that you had with the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger.
Yeah, sure.
Given the fact that there are indictments expected to come in that case this summer, is that a call you would make again today?
Yeah, I called questioning the election. I thought it was a rigged election. I thought it had a lot of problems. I guess he's Secretary of State. I called. Listen to this. There are like 7 lawyers on the call, many of them from there. We're having a call. We're having a normal call. Nobody said, oh, gee, he shouldn't have said that. Why? If this call was bad, I questioned the election.
You asked him to find you votes.
I didn't ask him to find anything.
We've heard the audio tape, Mr. President.
Josh Johnson in the building. What's the deal, bro?
You owe me votes because the election was rigged. That election was rigged. And if this call was bad, why didn't him and his lawyers hang up? How dare you say that? This was a perfect
Well, they were clearly concerned enough. They recorded the call.
All right, send it to me.
Note that, of
this
course,
was a call that was made to question the results of election. And when we can't make a call to question election results, then this country ought to just forget about it.
You weren't just questioning the election results.
I was questioning the election.
To find you votes.
Here she goes.
I should note that there is no evidence of fraud. There is no rigged election in the state of Georgia. I want to get back to the audience, though, Mr. President, because those are false claims you're making about
protocol, send me that shit.
Jordan Sullenberger is here. He's an undeclared voter from Hollis. He voted for you in 2020. Jordan, what is your question for President Trump tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Thank you very much.
I'm 26. I'm a veteran. I help manage a private aviation company.
You want a job?
I'd love one, yeah.
I'm looking for somebody very good.
I'm not for mandates or government interference in private business, but I've seen Republicans going after us like DeSantis after Disney.
Right.
What would you do as president to protect us from government interference?
Well, I'm the one that really wants to protect you. All of these fake investigations of me are about election interference. They think because I'm leading Biden by 11 points, 7 points, 9 points, I'm leading DeSanctimonious by a lot.
So check this out real quick.
By 40 points or 45
According to Michelle Long Spears,
relax and take it easy and think about the future, because right
after
now
all our hard work and your support over the last 3 months, a massive error showed in our,
but he's putting it to himself.
That day results in every precinct
and the border is a disaster. And by the way, the way
at 0, yes, that's right, 0 votes. Even at my home voting precinct, where I voted for myself on election day.
While we're in front of the voters here in New Hampshire, this is a fundamental question for you. You are running in the 2024 race. If you are the Republican nominee and you are in that 2024 race, will you commit tonight to accepting the results of the 2024 election?
Yeah, if I think it's an honest election, absolutely I would.
Will you commit to accepting the results of the election regardless of the outcome?
Regardless.
I'm going to answer it again. If I think it's an honest election, I would be honored to. And right now, we are so far ahead of both Democrat and Republican. And you know what? If I don't win, this country is going to be in big trouble. It's so sad to see what's happening.
But no commitment there on the accepting the results regardlance of the outcome.
If it's an honest election, correct, I will.
Okay, so not committing to accepting the 2024 election results.
Here she go.
Or acknowledging what happened in 2020. President Trump, I want to thank you for coming here tonight. This is an important conversation with voters to hear and to have. Thank you to our audience and to our host, St. Anselm College.
He pointed at her like, this bitch. This bitch.
Thank you.
I never seen her before either.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
I never seen her before.
Yeah.
I don't want to push my luck protocol. I'm not trying to get shot down for that tweet.
Thank you very much.
O2, man, what's going on? Says Trump is acting like he about to dump her for a new chick. She acting like he about to dump her for a new chick.
Thanks, everyone.
We're looking there at St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire. Tonight's St. Anselm Hall, moderated by Caitlin Collins, the first of the 2024 presidential
man, I'm telling you guys.
Books. Good evening from New York.
I'm telling you, what they about to do is tell you what you think you heard. Oh, this is what you think you heard, but this is what you really heard. You know what I mean? That's what's about to happen. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
COVID, about the economy and more. He called a black law enforcement officer a thug.
Here we go. What I tell you?
Here in Washington, D.C.
What I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Caitlin is a nasty woman. Here in Washington, D.C. at Chinatown. COVID, about the economy and
Listen
more.
to this.
He called a black law enforcement officer a thug.
He called a black law enforcement officer a thug. What did I tell you they was going to do? They was going to pull that one thing. They're going to tell you what you heard. They said, yeah, I know you just watched all this, but this is what you really heard.
He said people here in Washington, D.C. at Chinatown don't speak English.
Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? No, they can't take the L, bro. Damian Rutland said they can't take the L. No, they can't take the L. They can't take the L. Hold on, let's see what else he said.
He attacked Caitlin as a nasty woman because she was trying to get him to answer a question.
Here we go. This is what they do. They act like you ain't just watch what you just watched. This the funny part, right? So my father, before I started red pilling him a little bit, he wasn't pro Donnie T until one day we sat down and we watched Donnie T speak at a rally. CNN ain't cover it, right? But we and him watched the rally on another news outlet. He cut to CNN. CNN telling him that even though he just watched it, he heard something completely different. He like, they really saying this like I didn't just hear what I just heard? That's what they do.
Perhaps most chillingly, the day after a 9-person jury of his peers in New York found him liable for sexual battery and defamation and ordered him to pay writer E. Jean Carroll $5 million, he made fun of her account of her sexual assault. And many in the audience.
Here we go. He gave his account of her. He gave his account. He said she was thirsty, and she got freaky in a dressing room. That was his account. It's two sides to every story, right, y'all? It used to be, at least. It used to be two sides to every story. I mean, it used to be two sides to every story. Let's see what they keep saying.
Audience laughed.
And applauded. The former president making his first appearance tonight on this network since the 2016 election. He spoke with and took questions.
I told y'all they was going to be on damage control.
Plan to take part in the.
They was going to be on damage control because Trump just gave a clinic.
Found him liable of sexually
live on their own platform.
E. Jean Carroll.
Let's get right to it. With me here in studio, CNN's Artie Cornish, Abby Phillip, Dana Bash, John King.
Look at this. Look.
Gangel. Let me start with you, Dana. We don't have enough time to fact check every lie he told.
Here we go.
But he started off with the election one, and boy, he really just never let that bone go.
No, y'all didn't let that bone go.
It's pretty clear the evidence is now out there.
They didn't let that bone go. They were asking the questions.
Continue to tell that lie.
They just thought it was easy bait to get him.
Where he has
and the fucked up part is that they mad because the audience applauded it when he said that, yo.
Straight down.
I was shanghaied.
Trying to get.
Look, she can't even get it out.
On his base, now saw and heard that this is
Here she go.
Something that he will not let go of. The 2020 election lies.
Here she go.
And Caitlin
Here we go.
Pushed him on the fact that
Montoya, yeah, you already see it, Montoya. You see it. They got that rainbow coalition up there.
Many of his own.
Yeah, man, we know. No one in D.C. Chinatown speak of the English.
Said that, and he's not letting it go, and that is something that was
they did not expect to get the reactions, and they did not expect Trump to come in there and put on a clinic.
I mean, this is a person who is so steeped in his own conspiracy theories. It's hard to know whether he can.
They pulled out everybody. They pulled out everybody. They probably went
with just plain facts.
They just went around the office. I need somebody. I need a woman. I need 2 black women right now.
Election fraud. Even going into January 6th. I mean, it really, if you are steeped in the conspiracy theories around this stuff, you would still probably need a map to get around what he said tonight. And I think that is an encapsulation.
Y'all need to go see the chiropractor. That's what y'all need to see, the orthopedic surgeon or something, because all that reaching y'all doing.
Not just make it out of a Republican primary, but according to his campaign, they want to appeal to a broader swath of voters.
They're scared.
Well, I think voters in the middle, if they were really listening tonight, would really have no idea what he was talking about on a number of really
J.R. Bell says, hang around most of the area and around D.C., and you'll see that people in the area don't speak.
This is a person who, from the time he was in the presidency up until now,
who are they? I've never seen them.
Confused about
maybe because I don't watch CNN.
And is lying intentionally to his supporters and plans to do that. And I don't really.
But what I tell you guys, what I tell you they're going to do, they're going to be in damage control. They're going to tell you what you heard.
And today,
they're going to tell you what you heard, because I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of people that watch CNN who didn't want to hear Donald Trump speak from his own mouth, and they rather take the opinions and the words of these people you see up here on this panel.
Violent criminals in prison right now for the January 6th insurrection.
That's what that is.
Talking about pardoning them.
That's what that is.
Police and firefighters, not really talking about the fact that they were physically attacking law enforcement officers in the Capitol.
They tripping, bro.
A spotlight in a key state.
They tripping.
A warm audience that received his comments with applause and laughter. So I think it was easy for him to make these kinds of comments. And what this does give us is a preview of the general election, possibly, right?
So now they're going to demonize the audience that was there.
Not lightly, because we're still 500.
Now they're going to demonize the audience that was there, y'all.
Know what the rest of his election patter will sound like.
Now they're going to demonize the rest of the audience that was there.
Only now we actually know, for instance, that he's been told multiple times to his face in reports he's commissioned that he lost the election. So it's us. He's the same. We're different. We all know more. And it's really what voters who are not in that room think about it.
Look, he is
she definitely a Joy Reid clone, bro.
In the sense that he, as you said, within the first minute he told his first lie. He went on throughout the thing. I think
they can't.
One of the
now he lied.
See though.
Now he lied. They didn't think that town hall didn't go the way they thought that town hall was going to go.
And the audience is the whole.
And then now they had to pull out this panel.
And so
they had to pull out this panel. They thought they was about to make fun of Donnie T up there and how he handled himself, and now they in damage control.
That is a honest reflection.
Oh, this is Mockingbird work.
He is
this is Mockingbird work, bro.
The Republican
they are. They dumb as rock salt, bro. They dumb as rock salt.
So there's time to see.
This is Mockingbird
work right here. He has this enormous grip on the Republican Party. He knows that. He is celebrating it. That's why he mocked.
Here we go. Look. CNN talk. Trump claims E. Jean Carroll trial was rigged after the jury found him liable for sexual abuse and defamation. CNN.
Believe it.
Meanwhile, the entire trial was about the R word. The entire trial was about the R word. He was found not guilty about the R word. Now all of a sudden, they pivot to sexual abuse.
To the suburban.
I mean, if you couldn't prove the R word, how you proving sexual abuse?
Republican Party in 2020.
That's what I want to know.
And again in 2022, he did nothing to do that because he is who he is.
He definitely need the ratings. It's grifting season, guys.
He knows if things go his way, especially at this moment,
it's grifting season.
Satisfaction with the incumbent. I know a lot of people won't like this when I say it. He has a positive.
I know, right?
Of course.
I know, right? The views and opinions of Donnie T and CNN does not represent the views of Canon Hotep, Hotep Nation, or YouTube. Viewer discretion is advised.
E. Jean Carroll was awarded $5 million from him yesterday. A jury of
this is ridiculous.
And this is ridiculous. Provided almost no defense.
Oh, he didn't show up.
His deposition.
This is hilarious. This is what I want you guys to see. We all just sat here, right? We all just sat here. We all just watched from Donnie T's mouth.
If you're a star.
Explain everything, his positions, right?
He went after
why he thought this, why he thought that. his side of the story on the whole sexual assault thing, right?
Information yesterday.
And what are they doing up here?
I don't know if we have some of that.
Oh, that's not what y'all heard. This is what y'all really heard. Here are the main takeaways. Here are the main takeaways.
Yesterday, I know this is something you want to weigh in on as well. A Manhattan jury found that you sexually abused the writer E. Jean Carroll and defamed her. You've denied this, but what do you say to voters who say it disqualifies you from being president?
Well, there aren't too many of them because my poll numbers just came out and they went up.
They're going to cut it, watch.
Okay. I think I'm the only person in history who had a charge like that. And usually you leave office, you say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to back home. I'm back home to my family and everything. I'm going to be resigned. My poll numbers went up, and they went up with the other fake charge, too. Because what's happening is they're doing this for election interference. This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. And I swear on my children, which I'd never do. I have no idea who this woman. This is a fake story, made up story. We had a horrible Clinton-appointed judge. He was horrible. He allowed her to put everything in. He allowed us to put nothing in.
Mr. President,
this is a
you're
fake
recounting your version of events here right now to the audience. You referenced the trial. You did not go to the trial and actually testify. Do you wish that you had testified?
No, it wouldn't have made a difference. This was a rigged
He's right,
deal.
It wouldn't have.
This was a.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
Sir, you don't have to do it. I actually said, I think I should. It would be respectful. They said, sir, don't do it. This is a fake story, and you don't want to give it credibility. That's why I didn't go.
One thing you did do in this.
He's right.
I swear, and I've never done that, and I swear to I have no idea who the hell. She's a whack job.
She's a whack job. Now, his lawyer, Joe Tacopina, is saying that they're going to appeal, even though I don't know what kind of grounds for appeal they really have, given the fact that they didn't really mount much of a defense. And there is such a record he has.
The reason why they didn't mount much of a defense because it was a bullshit story, according to them. They think it was the reason.
Going on CNN and calling the woman who was just awarded $5 million after a jury found him liable for sexual abuse and
again, you see how they're trying to pivot?
Does that play into his attempt to get an appeal?
Before I answer your question, let me just be very clear.
Here she go.
What we saw tonight was outrageous. Absolutely. I'm a very objective person.
It's bizarro Candace Owens.
You would have somebody who's vying to be the head of the executive branch.
CNN got a Candace Owens.
Are not fair. That presumptively we must doubt them.
CNN got themselves a Candace Owens.
That you would allude to what kind of a woman, that was his phrase, would engage in some behavior. The idea of trying to litigate in the court of public opinion what has already been decided in a court of law. It's a phrase called res judicata, which is different than double jeopardy we all are familiar with. The idea you cannot try somebody twice for the same crime. That's in a criminal context. But courts will look at it and say, hold on, is there a common nucleus of facts here that suggests that we've already dealt with this issue? Your comment based on this circumstance, what you've said. It really is up to a judge to figure out whether you can bring charges or bring a lawsuit, again, based on that very notion. It's kind of novel territory in the
she just talking in circles right now.
What he's saying tonight. But the idea that he is making that statement, going beyond that today to take credit for the Dobbs decision. Did we all catch that? To say,
we're going to get to that in a second.
I did that. I just have to get
Prove
this
it wrong.
in. Because it was the Supreme Court of the United States
Prove it wrong.
who are 9 Supreme Court members. We know that they are inherently appointed in a political fashion. But for this president to say that he usurped essentially the role of the Supreme Court doesn't bode well for the credibility of our courts in this world. And let me just say this. I'm sorry to cut you off, because as the lawyer watching this, I have to say, I would be salivating if I were the attorneys for E. Jean Carroll, if I were the prosecutors, if I were Jack Smith, if I were in Georgia.
She wouldn't.
Because
No, she wouldn't. You know why? Because even E. Jean Carroll's attorney knows that she got fucking handed a goddamn fucking horseshoe
all over the country.
Even her attorney knows she got handed a fucking give me.
About what they saw tonight. They were appalled by the audience's reaction. And as one person said to me,
this shit is hilarious, bro.
What he did on January 6th tonight.
Exactly. Thanks, Montoya. Verbal nothingness, which she's probably best at. Facts.
He undermined democracy, the rule of law.
Protocol say he about to make a new video. Damian Rutland called it a great value, Candace Owens.
Talked about E. Jean Carroll
Bro,
I did not get one.
They're only going to hark on those three things that they said at the end. They're going to hark on E. Jean Carroll, the fact that he called the black man a thug, and
everyone
Chinatown don't speak English.
A Republican running against him. You just saw tonight what you're up against on a debate stage.
Can I just add one thing on that note?
And they scared shitless.
Sent a tweet out. He's seriously considering running.
They're scared shitless.
We even talked about what the former president said about Ukraine and Russia in detail. And what Christie said was, Donald Trump says he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He said, despite how ridiculous this is, I suspect he would do it by turning over Ukraine to Putin and Russia, Putin's puppet.
So let's go to
Chris Christie's still salty because Donnie T was attacking his ass.
Senior political commentators from across the partisan spectrum: Van Jones, Kristen Soltis Anderson, David Axelrod,
Look at this.
Griffin, David Urban.
You see why they cutting so hard? Because they had to go find these people. We need you to hurry up and get in here. We need you to hurry up and get in here. I believe the brother on the end, isn't he a congressman or something like that? So they got the one Republican who might be able to hold his own. I think that's who that is on the end.
Who has been paying attention and expected Donald Trump to be anything other than what he was tonight, really has misread.
Come on, you knew they was going to go for the audience.
That is who he is.
Nobody off limits with them.
That is the core of his appeal to his base. I said to Dave earlier.
Let's see how Van Jones fucking tap dance. Let's see how Van Jones tap dance.
In the era, he never concedes doing anything wrong. The idea that he was going to show up and say, I've thought this through, and I really, I should have done a few things differently. That might have been good political advice for a general election. That's not who he is. And that's sort of, that authentically who Donald Trump is. But it does underscore one thing.
Like Ed Norris and Michael Chiklis.
There are lots of professions in which sort of being a sociopath you get punished for. It's not a quality that is an advantage in many settings. But if you're a politician and you're just willing to blow through facts and blow through challenges.
But see, you ever notice, right? You ever notice they never fact check in real time? They never put up the stats.
We have always known he is who he is, and if you are a voter,
oh my gosh, they are on red alert right now. They are on red alert right now. They don't know. They don't know what to do. Right now, they think they're doing damage control.
Is a rerun that we've already seen exactly what Donald Trump is, and he's not bringing some new Donald Trump 2.0 to the campaign trail. I do think it was notable that he brought a prop.
That's exactly what it is. They had some Rainbow Coalition member put together a task force, so to speak, for this town hall. That's exactly what they're doing. What's up, Jimmy Doss?
But actually,
he said fat Krispy Kreme Christie can piss off establishment pricks who hate Americans. He's still salty about all them fat jokes Donnie T was telling about him.
On January 6th. You can see what message he's trying to drive, but he can't help himself undercut it.
You said CNN trending? Of course they trending.
The January 6th, those who
they needed this.
They are living in hell.
They needed this.
Look, I mean,
they needed this shit. You know why? And now what they doing now?
Keep if you're watching this, trying to figure out what's going to happen to America,
here we go.
You should be very worried.
Here we go.
He threw Ukraine under the bus.
Oh my gosh.
Just throw him under the bus. So a vote for this guy is a vote for a Putin victory. Period, point blank. You can't get away from that. He would not say that he wouldn't pardon people who've been convicted in U.S. courts of seditious conspiracy. A criminal.
Van Jones don't even believe what the fuck he's saying.
That's an easy.
He don't.
I'm not gonna pardon traitors. He wouldn't even give
He don't even believe what he's saying.
Police officer, a thug.
Oh
he
my
talked
God.
about Chinatown. All the dog whistles are there. This is
what I say. What were they gonna call him again?
No improvement.
All the dog whistles are there.
No.
I told you guys.
No remorse.
I told you.
That's what you're voting for if you vote for this.
I honestly found it jarring to watch. And just kind of a quick recap. He refused to call Vladimir Putin a war criminal.
Here we go.
He did not commit to continuing aid to Ukraine.
Here we go.
He basically alluded to restarting the inhumane family separation policy at the southern border. He once again repeatedly denied that he lost the election, which he did in 2020.
Here we go.
And then he made light of sexual assault, and even more horrifying.
You know what that did for him?
Members laughed.
You know what that did for him?
So wholly
solidified his base.
I hope that was clear as day to viewers.
And solidified his run for re-election.
Some important policy issues did come up, but what I would encourage folks, any Republican running for office or considering running for president wants to secure the border. They want to bring down inflation. They want to deal with the economy. They want strong.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're acting like. LP.
They will do that without the chaos, the insanity, and throwing our allies under the bus the way Donald Trump will.
Straight regurgitation.
So I'm down here at the lone end.
If you knew,
for a reason, I think. Look, what explains the fact to America? Maybe Jamie Gangelsfeld was blown up from friends she knows, but half the United States.
If you knew, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. Share the stream, guys.
He may be the next president of the United States. Right? He may be the next president of the United States. So I know there's this, he's a terrible human being. He said all these bad things. But a lot of Americans listened to what he said and said, well, yeah, that's bad, but it's better than the current situation. Or it's bad, but I can't take any more.
I don't think so. I think a lot of Americans probably said,
happening on the border
damn,
now. They said, well,
I agree.
When Trump was in, it was this, right? So I hear what everyone's saying. He did this. He's much better. President's much better. I always say this when he's talking about prospective things or his record, rather than talking about 2020 and the election and how it was stolen or January 6th. I think he's got a large record of accomplishments he could have talked about tonight and ran on, which he didn't. Which I was hoping to hear more of that.
No, why?
Everybody it was watching out.
They thought he was going to run from the allegations, and he didn't.
Ringing their
and now they don't know what to do.
Terrible.
That's what happened. They thought they was going to rattle him.
I will say,
and he was going to run from the allegations, and he didn't. And they don't know what to do now.
Every other candidate that I've heard, they said, I will vote unceremoniously, I will support a total ban on abortion at a federal level. And former President Trump refused to say that. He said, I will negotiate something that's best for the most amount of people. I mean, it seemed almost like, he was going to try to go back to, 15 weeks or whatever it was, kind of, under a lot of states and not a 6 weeks ban like a lot of people are asking for. So I did think that he listen. I
want to hear what the next guy say. I forgot his name.
Like on the gun part, you talked about Kristen. He kind of struck almost, I don't want to say conciliatory tone, but and Van, on Russia, I think that the point that he made was, I don't think he's saying I'm going to turn over Ukraine. I think it's much more of a, listen, I'm a military. I think what happened, the invasion needs to be stopped. It was unfettered aggression by Vladimir Putin. But at a certain point, we got to figure out what's the end game here for the world? How's it?
Do you believe he can do it in 24 hours?
Listen, I don't know if the president can do it in 24 hours, but. I don't know how it is.
I think everybody knows the president can't do it.
Oh, my God.
It's important to note that when the invasion happened, his first reaction was to call it genius.
Well,
here we go.
You heard him now. He said Putin made the biggest mistake he made was invading Ukraine.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Let's hear from Congressman.
I figured, I knew it was the congressman.
President.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, town halls are for the voters, not for the press, not for the person who's the moderator. Caitlin spent more time interjecting her own viewpoints or her own views on the situation.
Those are actually facts.
Let him talk.
You guys not going to interject your views on me, or do I get a chance to speak?
Let's go.
Everybody, wait a second.
Those were facts.
No.
The town hall is for the president to speak to the voters of New Hampshire, not for this back and forth with media.
Here we go
that's
again.
number one. Hold on. That's number one. Number two. With respect to Ukraine, I totally disagree. He did not say he was just going to give over Ukraine the way you intimate, Van. He did not say that.
He didn't say
what he said.
He did not say that he
what he said is that he would actually look for a solution to end it quickly.
Van,
he
like
put
he about to cry now.
hours on it, but let's be very clear. What Joe Biden has done has been a disaster because initially with Ukraine, Joe Biden wanted to give Vladimir Zelensky a ride out of Dodge. He wanted to give him a plane ride.
Give him a good tongue lashing.
So people in Moscow, in Ukraine, United States said this invasion is wrong, that Joe Biden reversed course.
Do you want a victory in Ukraine? Do you want a victory in Ukraine?
I'm just trying to respond to everything that's been coming up on the table. Last thing, let me say this.
Come on. What happened? Oh, Greasy. What happened? Did they really do that? Oh my gosh. Is it my computer, or did they just cut him off while he was whooping ass? Did they just cut this shit off while he was whooping ass? Is that what just happened? Yo, he was whooping ass. They ain't know what to say. He said, I ain't fence sitting shit. Y'all about to hear my 2 cents. Y'all about to hear my 2 cents. What the hell going on? Oh, bruh. Did they cut that shit short?
To you, it may just be an elevator. Here goes nothing. But for a young homeowner...
Yo, what's the deal with this? I want to see. I want to go back. I want to go back. They still live. Thanks, Leatherface. I don't know what the fuck going on with their website. I don't know what's going on with their website. Yeah, they go to commercial, go to commercial. I don't know. They still live. They still live. I want to see the shit. Why does it keep stopping right here, though? Why does it keep stopping right here? Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. Nah, it's on CNN's website, bro. This ain't even YouTube. Is my YouTube glitching? Y'all saying I'm glitching? I hope I ain't glitching. Shit, we'll take it to Rumble if that's the case. Yo, they fucking they cut the website. What the fuck? Damn, I wanted to hear Byron go off on him, yo. I wanted to hear Byron go off. That's all right. I'm gonna go find it. They don't like people that think for themselves. They don't like intellectual titans, man. They don't like that shit. Drop a dime on it. It's on CNN Go. I don't know if I got CNN Go. 3Z, they just straight killed it. They ain't right for that one. Oh well. Oh well. Darn. Yo, he was digging in that ass. Pause. That need to be a soundbite on every social media. That need to be a soundbite on Twitter. Byron, what's his name? Byron Roberts. What's his last name? That needs to be a soundbite on everybody's social media, yo. That needs to be a soundbite on everybody's social media.
I'm gonna pull over and stretch my legs.
How'd he do that?
I think he was supposed to keep left there.
What is this place?
This shit all fucked up. Oh my gosh. Hold up. Will you send it to my Rumble, bro? Oh, it's a time limit? Thanks, Protocol. I was wondering what the hell was going on. Like I said, I don't be on CNN like that. Okay, CNN Go. Where that shit at? Let's see. Let's see. I had to do it from my phone, it looked like. Let's do this. Oh, here we go. Let's see if it'll pop up.
No, but he spoke to his base.
Cool.
He spoke to his base, yeah.
I think, we're in the middle of the field, right? We're in that 20-yard line, we're scrum, we're trying to get the votes. And I think the president, if he wants to win, right, he's going to need to speak to those suburban Pittsburgh voters, suburban Philly
but I think
voters.
his calculation is, if I get the nomination, I can beat Biden, just as I think Biden's calculation is, if I get the nomination.
If you left tonight, you'd say he did a great job.
Voters do feel disappointed in Joe Biden. However,
if I get the nomination, so I don't think he's worried.
What Van said, it's very tough to kind of keep the president on track, and I don't think Caitlin was trying to interrupt. I think she was trying to keep the train on the track. She did a pretty good job.
Take a quick break. Coming up next, more facts.
Hold on, that's fine. I want to hear that. Hold on, y'all.
The ABC polling is pretty clear. It's always going to be at the hands of the voters. The voters are going
to... Or would you just say back in office because of the things he did. I accept that. I think that he probably
did the job. You know that.
Held liable for sexual.
Not true. I don't think anybody here thinks that Donald Trump is a paragon of truth. Do what she did.
About the 2020 elections until she got the answer, she went to court and do that, and all those types of things.
He by a jury, and Trump appointed judges throughout these allegations of election rigging. Should they be trusted that was rigged tonight, since he was the one who should be part of the discussion?
In 2024, not 2020.
Can I just ask you a question?
Not 2020.
Now they're going to attack
people. You want me to state it the way you want me to state it. Legislature, we do know that to be a fact. We do, and let's talk about this. We do know that Mark Elias was in many testified to under oath.
Hold on, he was going for a minute.
In a call with then acting a whole lot of other issues instead of doing that for the first half hour or so. Disaster, because initially with Ukraine, Joe Biden wanted to give Vladimir Zelensky a ride out of Dodge. He wanted to give him a plane ride, and it wasn't until people in Moscow, in Ukraine, here in the United States said this invasion is wrong that Joe Biden reversed course.
Do you want a victory in Ukraine? Do you want a victory in Ukraine?
I'm just trying to respond to everything that's been coming up on the table. Last thing, let me say this.
It won't let me put it on
22, 23 minutes talking about January 6th. We could have been talking about a whole lot of other issues instead of doing that for the first half hour or so. But let me be very clear.
I get 7 minutes to preview.
What was said in this town hall,
but I can't show y'all the video.
National Guard
we'll listen.
That were authorized by Caitlin was wrong. I'm on the oversight committee. I was in two hearings on January 6th. It was testified in oversight that Donald Trump authorized National Guard troops on January 4. He followed up in a call with then acting Secretary of Defense on January 5, trying to see where the deployment was on those troops. That is testimony in the oversight committee. Everybody testified in oversight committee when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, except one organization, and that was the Capitol Police.
Did you read the
Nancy Pelosi would not allow that. I'm telling you what was testified to
in the
oversight
committee. That's facts. I reported on that.
Because what Caitlin was saying was what the former Secretary of Defense wrote in his book. He said the president did not.
I am telling you what he testified to under oath.
He's in
the oversight committee.
Congressman, can I just ask?
Are the facts? Go ahead.
There we go.
You do acknowledge Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, correct?
Again, we're going to continue to talk about 2020.
No, I mean, it's a direct
right
question.
Now, hold on. Let me tell you.
Here we go. Look, she tried to pivot.
Kind of tired of y'all bringing this up. Inflation, border.
You don't have the courage to express your opinion about what
happened. I'm a Republican voter.
Voters want to talk about inflation, the border, fentanyl, the debt ceiling, foreign policy.
If you want to talk about the 2020 election, let's
talk about this.
You know how to let me know.
We do know that Mark Elias was in many jurisdictions suing to actually change election procedures, which, by the way, is at the hands of the state legislature in every state, according to the Constitution. Not in the hands of courts, not in the hands of the Supreme Court. The state legislature. We do know that to be a fact. We do know that true.
You won't state your opinion about actually what happened in the 2020
You guys
election?
Want me to make a statement. This is, Frank, let me tell you right now. This is what's frustrating to a lot of people. You want me to state it the way you want me to state it. I'm telling you.
I want you to just answer the question.
Do you believe why certain people look at the 2020 election the way that they do?
I understand why some people believe it.
Moving forward into 2024, a couple of things are very, very clear. The nation is a mess. Our border is overrun. Inflation is crippling every family.
So Trump gave him a clinic in New Hampshire.
Those are the facts of the matter.
And Byron Donalds is whooping ass at CNN HQ.
And I understand that you don't feel that the last election and questions about the last election and the insurrection should be part of the discussion now. But since the president was there, since he was the one who was propagating these stories about a rigged election, and he repeated it again tonight.
He wasn't the only person.
He was the one who rallied.
What's up? We got Eric Santos in the building.
Stormed the Capitol that he
wasn't the only person
tonight. I want to ask you this one thing, because I was interested when he was talking about his case that was decided yesterday by a jury, and he said, well, that was rigged. It was a Clinton-appointed judge. A lot of Trump-appointed judges threw out these allegations of election rigging. Should they be trusted because they're Trump-appointed judges, or are they rigged too?
Tell them why, Byron.
Every candidate that runs for office, everyone, I've run for office, you're allowed to contest an election. We all have that ability. You have the ability to.
They let Hillary do it. She's been saying her shit was stolen for how long?
He's had the ability to do it. Right now, he was making a statement very clearly about how he still feels about the 2020 elections, but he's also.
Hillary went on a whole tour about it.
The point I'm making is, Caitlin Caitlin didn't want to do that. She wanted to hang in and continue to talk about the 2020 elections until she got the answer she wanted. Let's be very clear on that one.
Listen, I want to say on Caitlin's behalf, she did a masterful job of fact-checking a lie machine in real time in front of millions of people. It is very, very difficult.
Get out of here, yo. Van Jones, yo. What's up,
nobody's going to do it perfectly, but it is incredibly difficult to talk to somebody who is going to say things. Sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not true. I don't think anybody here thinks that Donald Trump is a paragon of truth-telling. I thought Caitlin did a masterful job. She's a matador.
She did a horrible job.
Sexist attacks throughout. And I mean, I'm someone who cares about securing the border, lowering inflation. Why can't Ron DeSantis do that? Why can't Chris Sununu do that? There's a plethora of Republican candidates who want to do the things for our country that I know you want to do and that I want to do and David Urban wants to do. Why is it a man who's twice impeached, who's been indicted, who's been just held liable for sexual abuse? That's the best and only person who just once again called a woman a sexist.
I'm going to leave the indictment
child.
alone for a second, but let's be very clear. The reason why is because Republican voters want him to come back.
Because he's lied to them incessantly.
He actually did the job. You know that. And frankly, he did the job better than the current president right now. And that is indisputable. Name the issues. Donald Trump did it better.
How about infrastructure? We had infrastructure week every week.
You mean the bloated bill that they passed through that they still haven't started constructing on?
I mean the zero bill that you passed. You had infrastructure week every week for 2 to 4 years and never got one done.
Is there anything that look, I accept that. I think that he probably, if I were his political advisors, I actually would say, this is what we wanted. We got what we wanted. He was talking to his base, and he rallied his base. If I were his lawyers, I'd be deeply concerned about what he
won some voters over too.
Tonight. But is there anything that would exclude him, even if he
won some voters over too? I'm just gonna let y'all know that
back in office because of the things he did in terms of policy. Like, could he go out and kill somebody? Could he? Is there anything that would that you would consider beyond the pale, or would you just set everything aside and say, well, this is what people want? So those picadillos we're going to let alone.
At the end of the day, this is always going to be at the hands of the voters. The voters are going to decide who they want to support. Polling would dictate that they want to support Donald Trump by a wide margin in the Republican Party. I will also say the ABC polling is pretty clear that Americans writ large want to support him over Joe Biden.
So polling has come up, so I now have to intervene. That poll was a little bit of an outlier, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that we will see other data like this, because we know that voters do feel disappointed in Joe Biden. However, Donald Trump has been laying, in my view, a little bit low over the last couple of months, and it will be very interesting to see, do voters who may have forgotten what it felt like for Donald Trump to be in the spotlight, do they come away from this feeling excited and energized? Maybe some Republican-based voters will, as we heard the folks in that room. But I suspect a lot of independents will not come away feeling energized. They will feel exhausted. I don't want this rerun, and that's going to be a problem.
So that's what I was just going to say. Look, actually, you said if you left tonight, you'd say he did a great job. Because he spoke to his base.
He did a great job.
But he spoke to his base.
He did a fucking phenomenal job.
I think we're in the middle of the field, right? We're in that 20-yard line. We're scrum where we're trying to get the votes. And I think the president, if he wants to win, right, he's going to need to speak to those suburban Pittsburgh voters, suburban Philly
but I think
voters.
his calculation.
He wants some other voters over.
If I get the nomination,
I guarantee it.
I can beat Biden, just as I think Biden's calculation is.
He wants some other voters over, guys.
I can beat
I'm
Trump.
letting you know that right now.
So I don't think he's.
And right now, CNN, like, oh my God, what have we done?
And by the way, just real quick,
we've unleashed a beast on our network.
Keep the president on track,
and may have given him more traction.
Trying to interrupt. I think she's trying.
We have to do damage control right now, and that's what's happening right now in front of your eyes.
Check in with some of what we heard tonight, including what Congressman Donald said about the response on January 6th, as our special CNN town hall coverage continues.
All right, and that was the end of my preview. It's the end of my preview, guys. Shout out to Byron Donalds, man. He was wearing that ass out. He wore that ass out. Period. Jeez Louise, man. Jeez Louise. CNN fucked up. CNN fucked up. Now they in damage control, because you know what they did tonight? They gave him new voters. They gave him new voters, is what they did. And now he's up in the polls. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Donnie T about to pull a hat trick. Donnie T about to pull a hat trick. And CNN just helped him do it. Boy, this one for the history books. This is one for the history books, y'all. Holy shit. Anyway, if you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Please share this stream. Let people know we were live. If you're catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. You know what I mean? Question of the night is, do you think Donnie T held his own against CNN? Me personally, he just held a masterclass. He just gave them a clinic, and now they don't know what to do. This shit gonna dominate the news cycle for the next 2 days. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate you guys joining in. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. I got 819 subscribers over on Rumble. Help me get to 1,000. Help me get to 1,000 subs over on Rumble. Help me get to 1,000 subs over on Rumble, and on YouTube, help me get to 3,000 subs, man. Share this stream anyway. Tomorrow night, Hotep's Been Told You on Hotep Jesus' channel. Don't miss out. After that, it's the Hotep's Been Told You after party here on the Canon Hotep YouTube channel and on Hotep TV on Rumble, guys. Anyway, it's Canon Hotep saying, be safe, stay strapped, don't miss, and Rumble Donnie T Rumble. I holla at y'all.
Relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes.